Sinatra when I'm gone. The stars are out, and we stare to the edge of zenith. There's no more pain, it's all about the sound between us. I take pills, I take hits, I take shots, I'll take you underground. Where we're from till we die, and I mean this, and I mean this,
The hashtag Nothing Show. How you doing, Lou? I'm lightheaded from that. Wow.
The echo is strong today.
Yeah, well, I can't find the headphones, and I'm trying to drive you insane.
No, that won't happen.
As you can tell, I mean, you said in the chat, the song sucks.
Oh,
Dun
yes,
dun
of
dun
course.
dun.
Half the music you choose sucks.
Well, I didn't choose the music chose me, man. That song is
Okay.
by my good friends in the band Crizzo. Thank you very much, you jerk. And the lyrics of the whole hook come from my song, Ode to Frank. This song is called Let's Be Frank. It's an homage. Do you have a guitar ballad homage about you, bruh? Do ya? No. No. Have your words inspired a guitar ballad? No.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what I'm talking about is what I'm talking about.
You're a fucking weirdo.
That song is by my peoples, man.
Okay,
And the
good for
whole
your
hook,
peoples.
flowers in the dirt, this is what your life is worth. Let's sing some Frank Sinatra when your life is done. That's from my song Ode to Frank. This song is an ode to Todd. Do you have a guitar ballad ode to you, Lou? No
I
one's
don't give a
singing songs about you, Lou.
fuck about people singing songs to
No one's
me.
singing songs about you, Lou.
My life is not determined by someone singing a song to me.
But they're singing songs about
Oh,
me. And my life is determined by that. So,
good for
kazoo.
you.
I will travel this land and they will sing many, many songs about me. That is my
Yeah.
goal here on Earth.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Speaking of okay, did you watch that
Cyborg
Halloween?
Cyborgiston says he sings songs about me. Boom. There you go.
I like to hear one recorded. Okay, Guy Borgeson. Why don't you go ahead and you write yourself a spiffy guitar ballad about Lou, incorporating things from Lou's personal brain thing. Let's see you do it, Big Mouth. I sing songs about Lou in the toilet. Don't
I
count.
bet you do.
And I sing songs about myself in the toilet.
Look, man, let's get to the fucking meat and the potatoes of today.
Did you
How
watch the
did you
Halloween film?
enjoy the trailer?
Well, did you watch it?
Yes, I did.
All right.
Not that I'm going to see this movie, but from my personal opinion, I thought the trailer was kind of cool.
Well, there were things about it that were definitely cool, but man, first off, I've been watching a lot of the Bloomhouse. Bloomhouse, is that what they're called? I forget.
Blumhouse.
Blumhouse. I've been watching a bunch of their horror films just to see where they go as a company. And I'm not too happy. I'm not too pleased. They seem very cheesy. And watching this seems like it's along that Blumhouse brand. And what really bothered me was kind
All
of cool.
Blumhouse does is finance it. That's it.
Yeah, but it just has that color palette of a Blumhouse film, and it seems to have that vibe. You know, it's catered to a youth market, which I understand they have to do that, but the whole scene in the psych yard where Michael Myers is standing in a fucking square on a checkerboard thing, and that dude comes from the news crew and like, Michael, I have something you want to see. And he pulls the fucking mask out of the bag all dramatically and holds it out to Michael Myers and is like, and all the fucking retards in the nut farm are going, nah, nah, and the dogs are barking and nobody's doing nothing and everything's going nuts. Nah, nah, nah. I don't know, man. I can't really deal with that. It's too fucking cartoonish. But
Oh, you know what? You're like, oh, that is your opinion. You're entitled to it. I won't say nothing. I thought it was kind of cool the fact that he's in a checker box, white and red, and then it's got yellow tape around. It's like, don't come into this box or you will be fucked.
yeah, no, I mean that's cool, and I like that we're gonna see an unmasked Michael there. I hope they don't fuck us on that. Um, and I also like that Michael Myers looks much more human than the Shape. In part one he was the Shape, like this entity. Now he definitely seems like a human being, like when he does the first kill with his mask off. It looks like, and they use the same stealing the fucking jumpsuit from a gas station bit. So those things are cool. Those
Well,
things
I
are
guess
cool.
that's
And the
his
closet's
thing.
cool. The
He
closet scene.
goes, he goes. Oh my lord! Well, that closet scene was funny. It's like, yo, you gonna get killed. Because the little kid's like, close the closet door, and then she just like closing the door and it just keeps coming back at her. Like, oh yeah, he's chilling behind that door.
Yeah.
That little scene got me jumping for it. I was like, oh shit, someone's gonna die.
Yeah, but they fucking wasted that great. There better be 1,000 other great scenes better than that because that would have been. That's something you just don't put in the trailer.
Well, but see, that's what brings people to the theater is the stupid shit like that in the trailer.
Fuck that. Michael Myers back. All that other noise is what should bring the people to the theater.
But it's not going to because of you. I mean, you've seen. Not everybody was thrilled with Rob Zombie's version of Michael Myers.
No, I was one of those not thrilled peoples.
Oh, I love them. I love the first one. The second one was average.
I liked the first one. I loved an aspect of the second one, which was Michael Myers just like roaming the fucking woods and shit, like for whatever amount of time, growing a beard, because that's always how I imagined it as a kid. Like that's what Michael Myers does when he's fucking gone. But the white pony and all that other shit, I couldn't deal with it.
Yeah, the little horsey horse was kind of dumb.
Is the echo better for you now?
Didn't even notice.
I
Honestly,
lowered
yeah,
this.
it sounds better.
Well, fuck you. I'll turn it up 3 notches then.
No, don't.
You
Don't do
goblin
that.
cock.
You goblin dick.
Ah. Well, we are season 2 now of the hashtag Nothing Show, episode 1 of season 2, the 14th
Really? Season two?
overall. Yeah.
14 episodes and we go to season 2?
Well, the Nothing Network only ordered 13 episodes for the first season, and unfortunately, I tried. Lou, I really tried, but I could not get them to up the order for the second season, so it looks like we've got another 13 episode season. But at least it's guaranteed.
You know what? I'll take it.
Yeah. And another of the requirements of the Nothing Network was that we create some spin offs of the Nothing Show. And that's what this episode's all about. This is the backdoor pilot episode. You have a spin off of a spin off that you would like to do. So I'd like to talk about that. If you guys remember, last time around we had a show called Todd and Lou Saves the Internet. That was the show
Oh,
that
no,
brought
no.
you Hitler's
That was,
Wizard of
that was,
Oz.
it was called Todd and Lou Save the World.
God damn it! I said it all wrong. I fucked it all up. Well, Lou upped the game, and his new title is Todd and Lou Saved the Internet. So, Lou, I have ideas
Todd.
ready just based upon the title, what this show would be like. But why don't you tell me? Pitch it to those Nothing Network executives.
Pitch what? We fucking just talk shit on the internet.
What?
We talk shit on the internet while saving it.
All right. Well, then here we go. A backdoor pilot right now, ladies and gentlemen. Dun, 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 dun. Wait, I'll get some proper music. See that? I'll build you up and then I'll stop. That's called edging. That's
But,
called edging.
sir,
Yeah.
I don't want to conflict what you have going on with your other co-hosts in this brand. Because, it seems to be the communication barrier is always lacking.
There seems to just there's a scheduling error. Why the fuck am I not getting? I used to type in public domain superhero music and get all types of shit. Not anymore, man. Let's try royalty free. Well, here you go. Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come
To save the world!
for the two most awesome men in the entire universe to save the internet.
Dun, dun,
That's
dun.
right. Todd and Lou are back again.
Saving you!
To slash, to chop, and to dash their ways into your hearts, minds, and souls.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, that's good enough. So, welcome to the Todd and Lou Save the Internet show. My name's Todd.
I'm Lou, aka Bored All Day.
All day.
All day?
So, Lou, what do we do today on today's show of Todd and Lou Save the Internets? Who's we saving?
We're saving these jagaloons from idiots like Quinn Michaels and his conspiracies and stuff like that.
Well, is this would on the regular, if this weren't a backdoor pilot, backdoor, would this be a video production?
No. I'm in the kitchen right now making breakfast.
Well, not now. This is the backdoor. Backdoor. But in the regular, would we be looking at Quinn Michaels' funny face while we sang songs about him?
Sure, why not?
All right. Well, I'm going to go into the woods soon, and I'm going to go onto some martial arts training so that I can better defend the internet from stuff and things.
Right? You have to.
Yes. And I'm going to do meditations, and these will help defeat the evil, evil Quinn Michaels, who has stolen my true life story and rewritten it to be something ridiculous, well, mine, frankly, is more ridiculous, but at least mine's real.
He stole your life's identity because of Toby. Toby
No, don't
filled him
forget,
in with
Toby
all
works
that
for the
bullshit.
government, man. Quinn Michaels works for the government. Toby works for the government, and it turns out,
Well, goddamn, all you know is government people, man. H even works for the government.
well, yeah, Mr. Williams, he's a government agent too, but it turns out, DeFango is not a government agent.
No, he's just a jackass.
Right. But hey, a jackass is much better than a goddamn spook.
Oh, why don't the people like me? I need to be liked in the world.
See, folks, you must watch out because what they're trying, this is all a part of Project Bluebeam. That's why Quinn Michaels has stolen my life story. Again, nothing to do with children. Take out that little silly element, and you've got the real story. Add in three witches. Three witches. Count them. 1, 2, 3 witches who are an ancient coven. They're an ancient coven, and they've been stalking my blood for generations.
Really?
Really, this is all true, and there's also aliens involved and psychic vampires. Like I said, mine's far more ridiculous, but true. We'll get to all those details eventually, though.
Wow.
So, what else would we save? Would we save people from like stupid videos or something?
Yes, we would. We would save them from Walking Dead talk.
Oh. Can I just say something about The Walking Dead? Robert Kirkman went full on MAGA. He went full fucking retard in this most recent issue of The Walking Dead. And it was kind of glorious.
Let me ask you a question. Is he the only one who writes this comic?
As far as I know.
Well, goddamn, that man stays busy then. Because he's writing other comics for that
I'm
Image
sure he
brand
has
of
someone
his.
else with him. I never look at the writing credits. I don't really care because, dude, comic book writers are overhyped human beings, first and foremost. I mean, come on. It's not hard to write some fucking words in a balloon. It's the artist who tells the story in these small pieces, like I said, the old issues of Walking Dead conveyed more emotion and more story in its panels than the series was doing for a long time.
Hello. Still doing better than the series to date. The series is losing viewership left and right.
But
Because
fear is rising. Fear is rising.
You've become the advocate for fear.
It's so good. It's so good. Look, last week was a little fucking corny because it had some shit that really pissed me off in it. A bunch of things, especially the fall of the ballpark. They finally show how the ballpark falls, and like they let out all these fucking zombies, but the whole the Clarks and their like new community, they just sat there and watched as these motherfuckers were clearly emptying out the zombies. Like they know what's held in these tanks. They know they're up against thousands of zombies, and they just watch as these motherfuckers roll up with tractor trailers, fucking slowly and dramatically get out and like fucking prance. They're fucking They're showboating it. The vultures, the bad guys, they're showboating and skipping along to opening up the thing. It could have all been resolved right there if she would have said fire, boom, boom, boom. They could have plucked out. They had enough people, enough weapons, the works. They could have plucked out all the fucking people before they even opened the goddamn things and let the zombies out. So that really pissed me off. That's the first
Okay.
thing in forever that has pissed me off. And I feel like that 10 times an episode with regular Walking Dead.
Now, did you watch? Oh no, you were sleeping, so you didn't get to watch it.
What? Maybe I did. I wake up in between my sleep sometimes and do things. Jersey Shore?
Jersey Shore.
Fuck yeah, she shit her pants! She shit her pants and then she showed everybody the inside of her crotch with shitty shit on it.
There was no shit on it.
It was period shit.
What the fuck is period
I
shit?
don't want to know. She definitely earns dirty little hamster there. Folks, Jersey Shore, you should be watching. It's very rude what they did to her, though. Having her come down and then,
They're already filming the second season. They're filming it in Las Vegas.
Is she in it?
I don't know if the dirty little hamster's in it.
Oh,
But I know I read an article yesterday where Ronnie almost beat the brakes out of somebody again.
Jesus Christ. Easy to be out of it soon.
But it wasn't a cast member. It was an actual person that was talking shit, I guess, wherever they were filming at in Vegas. They're at a resort in Vegas. It's funny how Paulie D and Ronnie live in Vegas, but yet now they go stay at a hotel in Vegas.
I sorry, the location's been revealed. I was trying to see if Angelina was in it. But
The location's been revealed.
Answer yet.
They'll probably try to keep that under wraps. Because you know what was funny? How she started talking shit to JWoww the day of her appearance, but yet they supposedly they like all reconciled on the show. I think they're just doing certain things as self-promotion to get more viewership.
It's in Vegas. Season 2 is in Vegas.
Well, I already told you that.
Yeah, well.
I guess you wanted to confirm it for yourself?
Yeah, sure. I'm seeing nothing about if Angelina's coming back either.
There's probably not going to be nothing. They probably want to keep that under wraps until whenever they decide to bring the show back.
I mean, she shit her pants. I mean, they got to bring her back. And they got to bring back Vinny's mom and uncle and his Speedos.
Oh my God, that ending was hilarious. He's over here talking to fucking Sammy in the pool.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The sex doll Sammy.
Oh my God, he's having a full-on conversation. Then he's like, I'll be right back, okay, baby? Don't you go anywhere.
How many episodes is this season?
I have no fucking clue.
Because, I mean, that was 11 right there.
I have no clue. But from what I gather, they shoot for 30 days straight. So you figure 30 weeks worth? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know.
I'm looking on the wiki right now.
I don't even know if the wiki knows.
I don't think it does.
I don't even remember how long the first season
14.
went.
14. Episode 14 is The Final Supper.
Okay, and I wonder if they're going to do a reunion show.
You got next episode. Well, this one was Angelina leaves her mark with an exclamation point, talking about her pooping herself. Then you got JWoww versus The Proposal. Then you got Future Miss Situation with a question mark. And then The Final Supper. You see, folks, this is what we're saving you from. We are saving you from having to watch Jersey Shore.
Well, we encourage you to watch it.
You're welcome, Internet. We've already done good on one promise.
The Jersey Shore is a classic, man.
Yeah, well, this is true. And they also don't know what we did by bringing up the whole Quinn Michaels and all that. We have reset their matrix. We have corrupted their false timelines. And trust me, guys, you can't see it, but it's super powerful what we just did here today. We totally saved you guys. A big thing. We saved a big thing. That was a very big blow to Tyler. To Team Tyler.
Who the fuck is Team Tyler?
Oh, don't even worry about it. The less you know about it, the better it is for us. The easier it is to defeat.
So what's going on with your
Skynet?
What's going on with your other partner in crime, or lack thereof?
I don't know. I send messages to do random shows. He may again. He's never spoken yet. Even like I don't even know that he knows you're on these shows, or if he thinks I'm just doing them on my own. I have no clue. I keep saying shit, dropping hints so that he'll fucking say something. It's just getting fun. So I don't know. I don't know if I talked about it on the last show with him and Kiwi, which we need to finish a part two of. But anyway,
Nope.
he may
Nope.
think if he knows you're here that that this is just like some kind of weird conspiracy against him. But again, you and I, we do shows pretty much at random. They're like when the schedules permit, it works. I can't seem to catch the same thing with him. Our schedules are never the same, he and I. So I don't
I
know.
don't. What the fuck does he do that he can't commit to anything?
I don't know. I'd like to know his schedule if he wants to do this as like a real thing, plus the other secret project we're working on, which I decided I'm going to release that. That's another backdoor pilot thing to talk about here on TNN coming soon. Uh, so be on the lookout for a secret project. It's a new alarm. It's not the morning alarm, but it's an alarm. That's all I'll say for now. What were you saying now, Lou?
Again, what is his schedule?
I'd like to
What
know.
keeps him from doing things?
I think
I
he's
mean,
an Uber driver now.
but do you set your own schedule for that?
Yeah, well, listen. I got a friend back home. He's an Uber driver. He can't seem to find 5 minutes to smoke a fucking blunt and say hello. Even though we messaging me all the time. Oh, when you gonna hang out? When you gonna come by? Hey, I'm by. When you got time? Oh, I'm working. Oh, I'm working. Oh, I'm working. All that Uber, bro. All that Uber. So maybe these Uber drivers think they're like super special or something.
No, because these Uber drivers, you want to have a life, you need to set yourself up for an 8 to 5 or whatever you feel is going to make you the most money. And you have to take 2 days off a week. Everybody seems to want to do Uber. They want to make $1,000 a week, and they fail to realize they don't have a life for themselves because they're working 7 days a week, 14 hours a day.
Yeah, but I'll do it. Fuck that shit. It's good money.
It's not good money because Uber doesn't pay you well.
Well, if you're pulling
Uber
thousand
takes,
dollars a week, that's good money.
it's not good money if you really think about it. Uber's taking 70% of your profit. No, they take 60, leave you with 40. The same thing with Lyft. So just imagine how many car rides you have to do just to make $100.
Well, I got myself a much better deal coming up. Going forward on Monday, I'm going to be doing medical transport. I'm not too happy about it, to be honest with you, because my nose, it smells. My sense of smell is makes up for my sense of hearing deficit. Uh, but yeah, I'm going to be, and also I'm a germaphobe, so really kind of freaked out a little bit by it. But the money's really good, and the hours are whatever I want them to be.
Oh, there goes YouTube.
What's wrong with the YouTube? It's fine here.
No, you'll be disappearing now.
Haha. No. I'm definitely getting a new phone with proper service that will work around here. So there's always shows I could do when I'm waiting between jobs. And, yeah, no, my only problem is the fucking germs. I'm gonna need to fucking stock in Lysol in that fucking truck, in that van. I'm gonna have to spray the fuck out of every seat and everything every fucking time I drop someone off. Because they're all going to hospital. They're all like people fucking wheelchairs and sick people and shit like that.
What made you get this job?
Money's good, and I have it in, so I'll take it. And again, I figure it's like it'll give me more time to do shit. I'm gonna bring my computer. I'll be able to get back to more writing, which I've started up again finally after years of not. Um, and I'll be able to do shows. I don't know. I don't know how that'll work out exactly, but I am sure in some fucking 12-hour shift I'll have time. Besides, also I won't be working the weekend still. Um, I'm just going to be working like 4 days a week, so I'll always have
So basically,
those other
you're going to
days.
work the days your wife is home, your girlfriend is home, and then you'll be home the day she goes to work.
Yeah, pretty much. I pick her up, I drop her off at home, switch into the fucking cab van thing, and then go fucking pick up sick folk with fucking linens on my seat.
Oh boy, she's really going to complain. I don't spend time with you.
Fuck that shit. Get time when we go on vacation and actually enjoy ourselves and don't have like a fucking a budget vacation. You know, I mean,
Vacations need to be budgeted.
yeah, no, I mean it'll be budget head, but I'm saying instead of having like a vacation where we are slightly limited, we can have a much more fancy vacation.
Oh, Bimini, bitch! We're going to Bimini. We're going to Bimini. We're going to Bimini. Can you please shut your mouth?
Zero says Todd, let the quinkydinks. I'm like, what's a quinkydink? What's a quinkydink? I As I say it out loud, I don't even know how I cannot understand it. But koikydink, I thought it said. It does say koikydink. Okay, but I
Quinky
know what
dink.
it means.
Alrighty
I would
then.
love to do a synchronicity. We gotta do when I get the phone, Lou. We have to go. You on the phone, but me in person down in New York City. We'll start in Times Square. We'll do a live synchronicity walk.
Like I did that one time from my old spot when I took you guys in the neighborhood.
Well, that was just a walk. No, I want to do like a whole formatted one where like I see that people they take these multicolored dice, like it's got different colors on each side, and then dice with numbers, and they roll it. And that's if it's like green and a three. If you see something green with a three on it, you follow that. You go in that direction.
Alrighty then.
It sounds like fun.
If you say so.
And I bet you we'll get people to join along just straight off the street. Some fucking wackadoos will follow and have fun.
Oh, you want the wackadoos to follow you?
Yeah,
They'll
but that's
probably try to
season
rob
three. That's
you.
season three, guys. If the Nothing Network picks us up, so we gotta hope so. So smash those like buttons, everybody. Subscribe. Tell all your friends and socks to subscribe and like and smash, smash, smash and share, share, share. Because it's the only way the Nothing Network is gonna pick us up for a third season.
Because they're really anal over there.
They are. They're a bunch of fucking assholes.
They're really anal. They keep people around when they should have been fired long ago.
Well, they're anal and like OCD. I think that might be part of the OCD of the management.
You down with OCD? Yeah, you know me.
Well, you know that old proverb about the guy or the story, the fable about the fella who put everything he had and took loans from all of his neighbors and friends and bought this big drilling machine and was drilling into a mountain for like some precious fucking metal or something that was worth tons of tons, going to make him super rich. And he spent all these years drilling and drilling through. And finally, the financial pressures got to him. His neighbors are nagging and everything. And he's just like, you know what? Fuck it. He turns off his machine. He gets off. He goes somewhere and he sells the whole thing to some other company just for enough to
Pay
just for
everybody
enough
back.
to basically break even and pay some people back, and then he lived the rest of his life in debt. But the company who bought it, they turned the machine back on, and as soon as they turned the goddamn machine on, clink, 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 it hit that precious metal he spent all that money and time looking for, and they made fucking gazooglins of money. And maybe that's what management here thinks, like they don't want to maybe they spent so much goddamn time on certain individuals. Difficult to give up. Where the fuck you go, you pervert? He brings up the subject and then he drops. This pervert. All right, well, we're gonna go to a song then. Um, hmm. Do I have it here? We'll play you the song that lovely guitar ballad at the front of the show was, inspired by. Ode to Frank. Search. Search. Maybe search this PC is better. Ode to Frank. Ah, yes, times. Times were had in life. Times are always had in life. That's what life is. Times being had. So, this is what Todd and Lou Saves the Internet is. You're welcome for it. I'm gonna exit out of this call with old Lewis and see if maybe that was an issue. I do not know. I do not know. Oh, his internet went down. So he'll be back shortly. And hopefully my computer has this song on it. Until then, we'll just wait like this. You know, I bet I have it in iTunes. I've only had one cup of coffee this morning, though this morning is kind of like this evening. I woke yesterday at around 11 or 1 or midnight or 2. I don't know, really. But I woke up at that time-ish. And now here I am. And I've only had one cup of coffee in all that time. I'm trying to be responsible with my health. I have been drinking stevia in my coffee. Occasionally. Just to, offset the sugar intake or what have you. And it's pretty delicious, the stevia. I do enjoy it, I'll say. I just assumed since he responded his internet would be back up soon, or was back up and he was just getting back together, but then I realized he has a telephone with a separate service, so for all we know, Lou may never, ever return. But we'll see. We'll see. Mr. Quasbatch, why is drinking it black culturally appropriate for me? Do elaborate, please. MSI shut me up. Oh, yes. Like my coffee black, like I like my metal? Is that it? The bass, the rock, the mic, the treble? I like my coffee black, just like my metal. Oh boy, they're like 2 steps away from racism in that chat. Okay, here we go. I have iTunes open because surely I've got my own goddamned music in the fucking iTunes. I don't know why it's not showing up in the other place, but it wasn't. Here you go. You son of fuck him. We'll pretend we don't hear that. Nobody heard that, alright? Let's just pretend. Where is it? 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 There it is. There you go. God damn it, it's not in here. It's on a hard drive. Well, anyway. Suck it, you fucking perverts. Not like he wanted to hear it anyway, so screw yous. Alright? Screw yous. Let's call him. Oh no. Oh no, he's gonna see my Karate Kid ponytail. Oh no. Oh no, he's gonna see my Karate Kid ponytail. Oh no. Oh no, Karate Kid 3. Don't forget Karate Kid 3. Oh no. Don't let him see it!
Fuck you!
So what the fuck, bro? Is that how you save the internet? Abandoning me fighting beasts and goblins and ghouls?
I can't control my internet.
It ain't right, man. It just ain't right. Stop talking about coffee, you cunts. Let's go make some coffee, you cunts. Let's go make some fucking coffee. I've been buying McCafe coffee because it's fucking delicious. All the other coffees have been changing their flavor because they're assholes. Folgers taste like water.
Folgers in your car.
Bustillo is the biggest fucking disappointment of them all because that shit was like one of the best coffees on the market, and it was like fucking $2 for a fucking pound of it or whatever. Now the shit, you have to use the whole pound to get the flavor you used to get from, a regular pot's worth of coffee. There are 5 dishes in my sink of assorted variety, utensils included, and I'm annoyed by it. I bet we lost Lou again.
No, I'm still here listening to you complain about your 5 dishes in the sink of the environment.
You're listening to me play with my piesicle while I simulate my environment.
If you say so.
I don't know what is a piesicle, like a bicycle with pies for wheels, because I would not be against that.
I mean, what the hell? We've got period shit.
Well, you just ruined my pie, because now you got me thinking of like a nasty fucking cherry pie wheel on a piesicle rolling around in some mud, and like the cherry pie's oozing out of the crack in the pie crust is mixing in with some of that mud, and it's just disgusting. You fucked everything up with that. I don't even know why you would say something like that.
Yo, that scene last night had my sides hurting. That's how fucking much I was laughing at it. I
Yeah,
couldn't stop laughing. Oh man, it hurt. It was funny.
she's gonna kill herself.
And fucking Mike is now got a dad bod.
Yeah, I didn't even notice it until they pointed it out that he hasn't taken his shirt off in this new show.
Yo,
And then you
all he
realize he's
does
just a
is
fat fuck
eat.
now. So he used to be known for his abs, and now he's a fat fuck.
Oh my god, dude. I like some room service. Let me get that bacon cheeseburger, order of fries with some chicken fingers. Let me get this and that. And then I'm going to go take a 45-minute nap while everybody gets ready. And then I'm going to take
No,
45
his
minutes to
tummy
an hour to
hurt.
get
He took
ready.
a shit. He said he was feeling sick, which means he had to poop out the shrimp and the cheeseburger and the 9 plates of other things.
Who pays for all that shit?
MTV, that's his paycheck. They pay him in food. Because he can't get actual money because the government's going to take it all away because of his embezzlement.
No. The government, whatever they settled on, he has to make a living in order to pay whatever he has to pay back. And I'm pretty sure he didn't go through all that money he made before. I mean, he sold all the exotic cars that he had.
I'm eating a Girl Scout cookie. Yum.
Is it of the period shit variety?
Well, some might say that this is the worst one. And I used to not like them very much. But now I think they're my favorite now. The Samoas or whatever. The coconut caramel butthole shaped cookies.
I wouldn't know. I avoid those things like the plague.
Make Kiwi join the call, Lou, for another backdoor pilot.
Jeez, I don't care. You know my restrictions, dude.
Nobody named Toby?
And
Nobody named Ray Sunshine.
and
No Mr. Williams.
there you go.
So no Toby, no Williams brothers, and no Sunshine.
There you go.
Here is a free link
Blah.
for the whole world to enjoy. I'm eating a granola bar now. You know, I'm sitting there the other morning. The other morning, I'm making coffee with stevia in it,
With what in
and
it?
I'm all doing all good by myself. And then I start fucking eating some Girl Scout cookies, the peanut butter ones. And then didn't even realize until I ate like 3 or 4 of them that basically, I might as well just put sugar in my goddamn coffee.
Who bought that?
What?
The Girl Scout cookies.
Me from the store.
Well, then you're the fucking ass clown who.
Loves delicious Girl Scout cookies. At
So
least
you
I
were
don't
putting
love
what in your coffee?
delicious Girl
Stevia?
Scouts.
Is that what you said?
What?
Did you put stevia in your coffee?
Yeah.
Stevia is not good for you.
Yes, sir.
You
300
know,
years and no adverse side effects reported.
you want good sugar? Get coconut sugar.
Put it in your butt. I'll get monk fruit extract next. No, I won't even bother. Just stevia is good.
I can't stand stevia. I tried it. I thought that shit was gross.
Well, I don't know. There's a difference in what I'm using. I'm using stevia in the raw. You know the company that makes the brown sugar. Not brown sugar, but the real granulated sugar in the raw.
I don't know. Brown sugar be so good.
No, it is delicious brown sugar, but this is an actual brown sugar. This just looks brown. They probably dye it brown to make it look natural.
Diet brown. They diet period. Period shit.
They dye it period shit blue.
Yo, Vinny's mom though, he is a mama's good boy.
She could show up, cook me some food anytime. That fucking bag she packed, that suitcase full of fucking
Cheeses and shit.
deliciousness.
Yo, it's like what was funny is he's in the car like, man, oh boy, I wish we had a good Italian spot. Remember they're talking about the house is a mess and shit. Who leaves and doesn't lock the door?
MTV. They're not even allowed to close the doors because the camera people got to follow through. But fuck, I was gonna say something to that. Oh well.
What did she make? She made some chicken fingers. Looks like she was making some salad. Looks like they were gonna have a feast.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. The Keto Guido said he was hoping he could find a good Italian place for a cheat day, But I'm pretty sure you don't get cheat days on keto. I'm pretty sure that shit's got to be like science. I haven't studied enough, though.
The day he ate that pizza, I wanted to shoot him. How dare he fuck up that pizza like that?
What do you do to it?
Just fucking eating the cheese and the pepperoni.
Oh, yeah. Shut up, man. I want some fucking pizza right now.
I had some decent pizza the other night.
I got my car fixed, but I found a new problem, which is the water pump, which is not dead, but it's got to be fixed soon, and I can't go down to the city or to Jersey until I get
Until
it
you
fixed.
fix it.
Yeah, so no good fucking pizza for me until then.
Oh, so I take it you're going to fix it this week?
Next week, I'm already fucking paying for the first fix this week. I also did a full tune-up on it while I was in there, changing the other things. And next, it'll probably need a fucking ignition or something. It'll be something else as soon as the water pump's done, I'm sure.
But those are the perks of owning a car.
Yeah, well, hey, it's not too much money. It's like $100 here, $100 there, $200 maybe, but $700 at one time. Little bits here and there. It's not so bad. Wish I just had a better car. I mean, this car's nice enough, but
Dude, be happy you don't have car payments.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind them for the things that come along with the car payments. Like, you get a fucking nice car. If your car gets fucking broken down or fucked up, you get a nice rental. Yeah,
That's all in your insurance. That's not through the car dealership.
Yes, not all of them. I mean, I know of a person specifically who had this situation and got it through their dealership because it was with the warranty or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, you could get it sometimes in warranty too.
Oh, I want more disgusting food. I ate a McRib-like sandwich for breakfast from a gas station.
Ooh.
So why don't you just do what the Romans did and puke it all back up so that you don't have to suffer the health-related consequences of your diet?
I was like, Lou, what the hell happened to your voice? Terrified me. There's a pirate on board. Here's a pirate with a backdoor pilot. What is it you said, pirate?
I was going to recommend that you do the Roman diet and just puke everything up.
No.
How the fuck? He
I
has
want
no
the energy.
avatar. Okay.
I don't give a. How is keto suffering? Is that you who said that there, Kiwi? Kiwi talking shit
Indeed,
about keto? Yeah. Why is it suffering?
because you can't have the foods you love.
Bullshit. Have you looked at their menus?
Well,
Fantastic. Delicious. Fucking, I want to put my wiener inside of the food choices they have.
I think a wiener is still keto, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't want to eat wieners. I'm not a hot dog man. Well, hot dogs are good, but not shitty ones.
You need to get beef franks, like the Jewish hot dogs.
I can't imagine it's good because you're not supposed to be having any processed foods. So,
Or is it akin to the vegan thing?
I wouldn't say that when a fucking fat ass steak covered in butter with a salad smothered in ranch dressing and some fucking broccoli with cheese on it is one of your fucking menu choices.
All right. I'll reserve judgment. It just seems like it would be difficult for me.
Listen, you get a flu for 2 weeks. From what I know, my limited knowledge, I only read the good articles so far. I'm going to read the terrible ones next, the dangers of. But so far, it just says you get a flu for 2 weeks as you readjust your body from using sugar to create, I think, ketones, or whatever. Maybe that's what it is.
You get into
Creating
ketosis.
some shit out of your liver and to use as fuel. And instead, you're using fat, a certain kind of fat instead of sugar. And once you do that, it's a better burning fat. It's cleaner and healthier and more energetic, whatnot. And you don't feel sluggish in the day and all this shit.
Well, you could take it a step further and get the meat from farmers instead of the supermarket. Then you're not going to get all the antibiotics and hormones and things like that.
I don't know, man. They're not. I'm not sure they're what you think they are, because I got some farms around here, and I'm pretty sure their beef's all fucking shot up to shit with shit.
Well, you got to do your research. That's where relationships. I mean, that's the thing. We used to be community based like that, but our society has, it gives us the illusion that we don't need each other. And you can just go to the supermarket. You don't know where.
Urinated itself.
I actually just started getting all my milk from an Amish guy about 5 miles away. So I drink raw milk now, for instance. And it's fixed all my intestinal issues that I had. I feel so much better. Because you got to realize you're a colony organism. You have a lot of creatures inside of you that help process all that food also. So you got to keep everything in equilibrium. All the food nowadays is sterile. Pasteurization, the food you get from the store, it's all sterile. It doesn't have anything in it because it has to have a shelf life. If you're getting your food from 5-10 miles away, that's not so much a factor.
Look,
real
man.
enzymes for real, zero.
Todd, you watch Netflix stuff. On Netflix, there's a show called What the Hell?
It's called what?
What the Health.
What's this about?
It's a documentary. How corporate America is paying for shit. Just what Kiwi's saying. Your milk, they're putting shit into your milk. You know how they used to say milk does a body good and all this and that? Milk doesn't do the body shit.
It's really bad for you as is.
And then,
As
like
I
diabetics,
pour milk into my cup and into my cereal bowl.
there's a part of it for the diabetics that go, the guy's looking up like, yo, how is this food good for you when you're a diabetic? And they can't ever seem to give him a straight answer. And then he did some Google searches, and it shows that all crafts and all this and that, they give these people millions and millions of dollars in lobbying to say that their product is A plus and all this and that.
Yeah, man, it's lobbying at its finest. That's the whole problem with our political system. They try to marginalize farmers. That you see a similar thing happen with like Monsanto, how they'll basically have a farmer using that, and then let's say that some of the Monsanto seeds end up pollinating the neighboring crop of a farmer that doesn't use that crap. They'll end up suing them for patent infringement and then put that other farmer out of business. So you see stuff like that in many different veins of the agricultural sector. I'm looking for a movie that I watched last night.
Real quick, though, I stepped away. I do want to say, well, Monsanto, no matter how you cut it, are cunts.
There's nothing good about them.
But your movie?
I'm still looking for it, but see, the thing is, in a country where maybe they don't have any infrastructure whatsoever and they need to feed a lot of people, I mean, I kind of get the premise there where they're trying to feed a lot of people or something. But really, it kind of got its foothold from the ethanol craze. And that's where it got all the subsidies. And then they've kind of just got to the point where now if you read the ingredients on food, it's like cornstarch is It is in so many different things. It's just used as a filler. So, you're eating that genetically modified crap every time you eat something that you wouldn't think corn would be in. But corn's just one of the big things. And then, of course, that's where the gluten allergy came from. Had you even heard about that until 5-10 years ago?
Yeah. I never heard about it until then.
And that's because of they've modified the wheat protein. It's no longer the same species. Which, please, let me add this, that I might have mentioned this before, but they're doing it to humans also. And that was where I was mentioning the ambassador to Syria. He's been to the UN a couple times talking about genetically modified soldiers in Syria. He says a lot of the ISIS troops and the mercenaries and folks that are coming in, they're genetically modified. So it's not just food. We're seeing it in everything. But what the hell does that mean? We don't even know what the genetically modified soldiers are.
ISIS super soldiers?
Yeah, I mean, what's that mean? Do they have night vision? Are they, super strong? I mean,
They have botox.
They don't have to eat? They don't have to sleep? I mean, I don't know what that means.
They're creating their own Captain America.
Essentially. And I mean, that's scary because, people always say, bring the troops home. Well, when they come home, that's the kind of crap we're going to be dealing with, And think about when
America is who they're creating.
Those people have kids, what's that going to be doing to the genetics? I mean, there's a breakaway society, I've almost found the film, rather.
I'm eating right now cornflakes, which has all of those terrible things you mentioned before, plus aluminum.
Yeah, man. So I've seen a few really good things lately. I watched a documentary last night called The Underground, and it's about the military having these secret bases and such, how they were drilling, that's what the black budget's being used for. They're creating all these under the earth bases and research facilities. They develop weapons. They're cultivating all these human hybrid creatures. And this guy actually, his last name was Schneider. He was murdered by suicide, quote unquote, like so many of his colleagues. And he was talking about how they were out in I think in the Mesa region of Arizona, where Half-Life takes place. And he was talking about how they were drilling holes into the earth, and they were encountering these like grays and stuff. And he said it smelled like death. When they would drill these holes, this plumes of smoke would start pouring out, and they'd smell this terrible smell. And they were finding these creatures down there. So that was a really cool documentary.
They caused all the volcanoes, I tell you. And real quick, speaking of suicides, we forgot to mention Anthony Bourdain killed himself.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you think maybe he had another terminal illness and decided just to take matters into his own hands? Or
possible. I was looking at him and he looked very thin.
I mean, he's been smoking for a long time. So
Hey, don't say that. Smoking is good for you. Stop talking.
You should at least switch to American Spirits, Todd.
I smoked them, mostly, somewhat.
How many have you had today?
100. I don't know, 20 or 40. I don't count them. Now I'm eating a Thin Mint.
He killed himself. Oh well, too bad. Who gives a shit? I don't.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do. You have a crush on him. You want to make love with him.
I don't give a fuck.
You wanted to kiss upon his neck.
Nope. I've made it very clear. You kill yourself, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, but we should still understand why, because maybe he didn't kill himself. Maybe it was made to look like a suicide, like so many of these others.
Very possible, because, he was exposing things in his later shows, apparently. Allegedly. Who knows? The only one you know for sure they killed is Chris Cornell. Ha ha ha.
So,
Elephant for Shoes Todd is on that keto diet. He's been on it for 2 months.
Oh yeah, and how does it go? Elephant for shoes. How does it go, elephant for shoes? Elephant for shoes.
Elephant for Shoes, we're asking you a question. Are you still in the room?
Elephant for shoes will hear an answer eventually when it's caught up, and then the words. Oh boy.
So a couple of these other films I've watched lately. This one called Traveling Salesman, which alludes to the mathematical mystery of P equals NP.
Sorry to interrupt, but will someone tell Elephant for shoes we know that? Go ahead.
And in this...
You think we're dummy-dumbs? We're not dummy-dum-dums. Go ahead.
In this film, I'll just read the brief little synopsis here. It says, four of the world's smartest mathematicians are hired by the... Four of the world's smartest mathematicians are... Are you going to keep interrupting me?
I'm just...
Fuck off,
I'm
man.
complimenting you.
Four of the world's smartest mathematicians are hired by the U.S. government to solve the most elusive problem in the world of computer science, P versus NP. The four have jointly created a, quote, system which could be the next major advancement for humanity or the downfall of society. So this is a work of fiction, well, as far as we can know. But here's what was very interesting about it, is that by solving this P equals NP, it's likening it to, let's say you took a key and you hid it in the desert somewhere, and it could be anywhere in the vast amounts of sand that's there. And so it would take you forever to find it, and that's what encryption is based upon. And that's why it works so well, because any problem could eventually become solved by brute force, but it would take years and years and years and a lot of computing power. So it's not practical, and that's the only reason encryption works. But if you were to solve this P equals NP problem, you could break any encryption, meaning that there would no longer be privacy. And that's really the danger of quantum computing, which I think is illustrated by the analogy that this one gentleman comes up with in the film. He thinks to himself, oh, well, but what if the sand was melted into glass and you could just see through the sand? Well, then you could find the key. So it was almost as if you look at it from a different perspective or another dimension or some other way, the math problem itself becomes moot. And so basically it's kind of explaining how this team of mathematicians came upon this, and they actually did solve it. But because of the implications, they became so concerned about the government having it, they didn't want to necessarily give it up. And so in the film, this guy shows up from the government, and he's trying to offer them all $10 million apiece to just sign this non-disclosure agreement. And, basically they won't be given any credit or anything. So I would highly recommend that to any computer nerds, folks that work on the art puzzles, or if they're a fan of Mr. Robot, things like that. Because it's a bit slow, but if you're interested in it, it would certainly be well worth your time to watch. And this other film relates a lot to that. And I would say the same thing about it, only it focuses a little more on the practical applications of like hacking and stuff. So this movie is called Algorithm, and it was actually one of those independent films. So it's a little bit low budget, but it's still really good. The synopsis here is: after discovering a top secret NSA project, a hacker for hire must choose between his curiosity and the safety of his friends. And so what he does, he stumbles onto this login screen for this program they called Shepherd. And basically, it's just sitting there collecting information. Everybody's searching for what everybody's buying, et cetera, et cetera. And it just collects all the information and categorizes it. And that's basically data mining. And anytime he would get to that login screen, the spooks would show up, And so it's just his story about, how that all unfolded. And of course, in the end, they end up forcing him into just working for them. So, that's when Anthony Bourdain and these people like get offed. It's like, did the man in the suitcase and the suit, or with the suitcase and the suit, show up and say, "Hey, we want you to work for us now"? And did they just say, "No, that's not for me," and then they're done?
There's the alternate theory about beams of hate waves being shot through people's eyeballs and anuses, metaphorically speaking, of course, that are, meant to upset the masses, but are affecting more sensitive art folk, because there's a definite suicide drive going on. There's, look, I've talked about this on the old shows before, but that's something that goes in my head all the time that always been there, though, but I just always thought that was me. That terrible internal clock that just keeps ticking and waiting to fucking get me. That monster in the shadows. But it was amplified. And then you get all these fucking suicides and all this madness going on. And I noticed that my own madness was amplified. And then I went on that special voyage into the magical forest. Met with magical little creatures. And saw the beams and felt the fucking waves of hate and anxiety being fucking washed onto us from all sources, all angles, from the television programming to the fucking harp fucking gobbledygook space wars on us. All of it. And it was heightened during that period. So of course I could just be a Looney Tune. But even under the theory that I'm a Looney Tune, I was always a Looney Tune, and still was heightened during this immense period of cuckoo in the world, Like, the world's acting in accordance to my inner madman.
I feel you. And so you think some of that
You don't
heart...
have the right to feel me. I didn't give you permission to put your hands upon me.
I've read some stuff that kind of goes along with that. The HARP technology is said to be able to influence emotional states and cause people to be distrustful and paranoid and angry. And,
the spirits in the forest told me that. I didn't read it, just so you know.
Well, yeah, man, that's exactly right. They're teaching us stuff when you commune with them.
Yes,
so
that's what they told me, man.
Mm-hmm. And see, that's supposed to be something that everybody's going through, especially during Christmas. Families are supposed to be getting together and eating mushrooms off the tree after they've dried, and that's where the ornament hanging traditions come from. And, they've replaced all that with commercialized crap that you buy from Walmart or whatever, and so people aren't getting that spiritual teaching, And one of those clips from Joe Rogan's podcast with Theo Vaughn, he talked about how the mushrooms grew in mass down south, and families would just be out there picking them and eating them and enjoying them together. And I was just thinking, wow, that's exactly how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a community oriented thing. There's no paranoia attached to it. There's no stigma. It's something you're being taught by your family how to do, and think about how much of that crap they're sloughing off.
But see, what do you mean by families down there? Like, are you including like children's, like multi-generations? Because
he said it was multi-generation, yes.
As far as I've gone down that world and as deep as I've traveled, I don't think it's something families should do together. I don't think it's something that should be a cultural revolution or renaissance. I think it's something that should be very sacred and should be used by very few people. To be honest with you, I don't think everybody is meant for this stuff. There's some soul-shattering things, and some people would be more valuable to live in ignorance. Not ignorance, you can be enlightened, but you just don't have to have fucking the universe rip through your fucking soul and spit you out. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need, not everybody needs to be chewed up and spit out. A lot of people do, but not everyone.
I totally understand where you're coming from. In fact, even when I have them, I don't necessarily feel compelled to imbibe them, and I won't give them to anybody unless I think they can handle it. And so I definitely understand where you're coming from. But then again, I think I think it's best to be introduced by your family and not some scuzzy drug dealer. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure. But
because then it's treated differently too.
I think it's just best to avoid. Like, if you can manage, if you can manage to not want to walk down that path, I think it's better for you.
Well, I have a comment on that.
What's that?
My comment on that would be that, in ancient Egypt, as I've read, it was tradition to allow a child's hair to just continually grow in one spot where the hair would actually grow over their eye. And at the age of 13, they would cut that lock of hair. That was called their child lock. And it was at that time, at the age of 13, they were expected to start behaving like an adult. And that would be the time when they would be given an ethnogen, like a drug of some sort. They'd lead them into a cave and have them undergo that sacred rite, as you were mentioning. And so they would come out of that reborn, born again, as it were. And so particularly when a child was chosen to be the next shaman, for instance, they would do that a lot then. But, the child lock is something you can read about that kind of explains that. So, I understand you maybe don't want to do it with children, but there is a point when your abstract thinking begins to take form, and they begin to be able to handle it, like you were mentioning.
There's a reason. If someone's got some sort of a creative lock in their brain, it could open new angles. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's definitely not for everybody.
A little bit too much scary in that, though.
Well, but why is it scary? It's because the judgment that takes place. People aren't.
No, it's because the ultimate fucking truth of it all is not a good one. The ultimate truth is not one many can deal with.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Sorry, you broke up there. What'd you say?
And yeah, that's the definition of a bad trip.
Or is it a bad trip? And ladies and gentlemen, you are now listening to the N Cubed Report with Kiwi Hasselhoff here on Nothing Show number 14, Season 2, Episode 1, the Backdoor Pilot episode! Because exclamation point, I had to scream.
When you crave depth in your 2D life, or when things don't add up. Did Lou drop off?
No.
I'm sorry to Bogart. You, by all means, take.
Speaking of Bogarting, I'm about to Bogart myself.
But it's breaking that Faraday cage for your mind, because if you live in a world where you're just ignorant of those things, I mean, you could live blissfully forever, just as a material being, the creature comforts. But to experience what's outside your perception, I think that's very important, even if it only happens the one
with a space alien.
I'm sure there's some value there, but I would rather learn anecdotally from somebody.
Well, hold on a second here. Let's ask you a question in a second based upon that. But first, I got to ask Lou a question based upon the question in the audience by MathSart. I haven't missed it, have I? Lou, has he missed it?
Missed what?
Our show today.
What is he talking about?
MathSart. Has he missed the show? We're at 1 hour and 20 minutes. This is a season premiere, though, so we can go as long as we like. ish. I myself don't have something to do for another hour, so I have a whole nother hour clear. But yeah, you are the boss of the Todd and Lou Save the Internet show, which this whole show is tethered around. So, has he missed it? Or is there still more show for him?
You do what you want, bro.
Fuck you, bro.
I had another movie review, by the way.
A movie review?
Yeah, it's a Philip K. Dick adaptation, by the way.
All right, well, let's take a brief moment for sponsors here, and we'll be right back with that movie review and more talk here on The Nothing Show.
Philip K. Dick.
Dicks.
He gave you his dick.
Is this Whedon's Wacky Weed sponsored? What was it?
Sing some Frank Sinatra when your life is done. Exhale politely. Go into the opera with the chosen one. Hold on tightly. You're the flowers in the dirt. This is what your life was worth. Knowing this would probably hurt. If in fact your conscience Welcome to the forest of the nothing king. Bow with grace. Never going home, get used to this final resting place. You're the flowers in the dirt. This is what your life was worth. Knowing this would probably hurt. If in fact your conscience if you didn't care, the answer's out there. If you didn't care, if you didn't care, if you didn't care, the answer's out there. If you didn't care, if you didn't care, the answer's out there. If you didn't
Talk more about it.
if you didn't care,
Good again. Did you even say where he was going? Guess I have no choice. But, so anyway, in this film, they mentioned the space worm.
My mic wasn't on, and we're live again, you sons of bitches.
Oh, we weren't even live there a moment ago?
No, we are now. We're live now.
All right. Well, I'm really sorry if I'm repeating any of this, but I'll talk about this film now. So, this is a 2010 title, an adaptation of Philip K. Dick.
Dick.
It's titled Radio Free Albemuth, and it's a strange title, I know, but I think it got recommended based on some of the other films I was watching. So the reason I wanted to really bring this up is because there's a character in this that reminds me of you, Todd.
I'm very interested now. You have piqued my interest.
His name is Shea Wigham. Not real familiar with him, actually, but he looked somewhat familiar. It says born in Florida, educated at Purchase, and coming from the New York City-based theater scene. Shea Wigham, his big break came when director Joel Schumacher cast him opposite Colin Farrell in Tigerland from 2000.
Schumacher's The Lost Boys.
Since then, he has racked up impressive credits working with such legendary Hollywood actors as Martin Scorsese, Robert Redford, Terrence Malick. He is a Capricorn, born on January 5th, 1969, from Tallahassee. So the reason I enjoyed this was, like I said, because it reminded me so much of you, that particular character. And because he's a writer, and he writes science fiction and things like that. And so he's friends with this main character, and that's how they have this relationship. But they also mentioned something about space worms at some point, which I thought was just so crazy to hear, because I had almost thought that maybe you had seen this movie, and that's where the space worm...
No, definitely not. I know Scanner Darkly and the other one they made, Electric Sheep. Like, I know the movies of them. I've actually never read his books. What he's referring to, folks, is a theory I made many, many moons ago about, making contact. For all we know, there could be a bunch of fucking space worms out there looking to gobble us up. That's summing it up, right? I mean,
that's actually what this movie's about, only they're not nefarious, they're altruistic in nature. There is this system of planets, I guess. Albemuth is this place where the benevolent beings, or as what they would think of as God, that's where they resided, is a faraway place. And so they put this satellite above Earth that would regularly communicate with certain people, I guess, that were open and receptive to the message they were broadcasting. And so basically they would think they kind of like hear voices or have dreams. And, I tell you, man, it was very, very interesting. And I would highly recommend it, because the basic premise is that there is this tyrannical one world government kind of thing going on. And the idea is that every time that happens on Earth, there's like this counter force of independent, sovereign individuals, like, counteracting the one world government kind of thing. And so every time it gets built up, it gets destroyed again and brought back down. And but it's through the assistance of these otherworldly creatures that come and talk to this guy in his dreams and whatnot. So I just highly recommend it, because it seems to almost make you think and wonder if it's like almost crazy enough to be true. Because, you read about things like the Black Knight satellite, for instance. And at some point, they end up making they have to put subliminal messages into music to try and wake people up. And, so this guy ends up becoming the head of a record company and doing all this stuff. But it's really just a front for him to spread, pro-propaganda.
And what is this called again?
Radio Free Albemuth. That's ALBEMUTH. I'll put it in the chat.
There we go.
But that's one of the best movies I've seen in a while.
Lou, are you still with us?
Yeah, just playing a game.
You're far too quiet for my liking.
Yeah, I've been talking a lot, man. I can jet out if you want.
You can stick around. I want Lou to, why don't you and Lou have a conversation?
Well, we could.
About
do.
what?
That's why I mentioned movies, because I thought perhaps that would be more relatable.
I recognized your effort. I recognized it.
What you brought up, Kiwi, I have no interest in.
Well,
I recognize that as well, but
I do have another interesting, provocative topic that's unrelated to cinema, however.
hold on before we
Which
leave
is?
the cinema. And actually, there's an interesting story. I don't know if you want to say it on the internet there, Kiwi, but before we get into anything, did you see the Halloween trailer, the new Halloween movie? Did you?
No.
That we talked about at the start of the show? It's out. Maybe you should watch it, and maybe you'll agree with Lou. He likes it. I don't really like it. I think the
It's
visually stunning scene that opens the trailer is quite corny.
It's just, what bothers me about Hollywood is that the lack of originality that's coming out of it.
Suck at you.
It's just sequelitis, man.
Suck at you.
Sequelitis. But this sequel is literally, what number are they going after, Todd? Number 2 or 3?
Part 1. Straight up after part 1. This is a fucking sequel to a 40-year-old movie.
Okay, so everything else is not.
Yeah, they even say so in the thing. That's why those 3 girls they're talking about. Oh, I heard it was her brother who killed everybody. And the other girl says, oh no, it wasn't her brother. That's just something people made up. Because that's how the young girls talk these days.
You make them sound like boneheads.
Oh my god, I heard all about that Laurie Strode and the Michael Myers. Oh my god, he escaped on the prison bus. MD5, yo, what the fuck's that mean, son?
That's a hash, yo.
What is that? That's crazy, bro. Don't be hashing it out in there. Bollywood or Hollywood? I did see a great Bollywood movie recently, and I forget its name, and I didn't finish it. I talked about it on a show called like Katha Kupla Kula Bar or something. I would really like to finish it. It was very good.
I can't even sit through a Bollywood film.
You will this one, I promise you. I'm the same way. But when you see something done right, you suddenly understand the art form as a whole. You know what I mean?
Okay, we'll put it in the chat.
I think it may have been Kupar. It was about all the landlords, Maths Art. It was about the one guy, he went deaf because he was cursing Shiva or something while working. He was like a foreman, and the tree fell by him, and he went deaf. And then, I don't know if a brother goes to war. The brother does go off to work in sales, and it seems he's getting flirty with Auntie. When they're drinking a little bit of the alcohol. No, not that one, then he says. I gotta see what this fucking movie was called. How would I even find it again? Bollywood movie. That's cool. I'm just gonna type in good Bollywood movie. Good Bollywood movie.
Good movie, no such thing!
I think it was called like Rashmashar Shlashlam or something. It was some fucking... It had a name, man. It had a name, guys. It was not an untitled film.
There's no such thing as an untitled film.
What's the name?
I'll make one right now.
I mean, you could title this The Untitled Nothing Show.
That's the next episode.
According to Massart, the top Bollywood actor was arrested recently
for
eating croutons
in a salad.
Yeah.
For killing an endangered species, it says.
What?
Apparently, he killed an endangered species.
Made of croutons?
Yep.
Wow.
And diced potatoes.
A crouton station, perhaps?
Movie. Oh, bee bee blah boo parum pum pum. Parum pum pum. There's a
So-
boxer called High Jack. Not Hijack, but like his name is Jack and he's high.
Jailed for 4 years, Mathart said.
All for eating croutons in his salad? That's not right. We should go to war with India for this.
Yeah, we don't go to war with anybody that should deserve it. Like, we're never in the Congo or anything like that. You know, it's like if somebody's doing the devil's work for us, then we just let it carry on.
Satan!
So, are you still looking for that movie?
Yup! I am.
Salam Khan.
That's Salman Khan.
Oh.
Like Salman Bass.
Salam alaikum.
Called Robba Lobba Lobba Lob.
For all you fine folks out there that watched the TV show Atlanta, it got picked up for season 3.
Another sequelitis.
How is that sequelitis if it's getting a 3rd season?
Dude, I don't think anything really should exist after the 2nd or 3rd season, so it
If
just
the
gets
story is good, why not keep going?
But it never stops. Like, look, how many have ever stopped when they should have? They whore it out too much. Like,
Really?
look, you were
There's plenty
talking
of
about
shows that
The
stop.
Walking Dead, for instance. It
Okay,
also
The
depends
Walking-
on how
but see-
many-
Look, if The Walking Dead was done right, they have so much lore to fucking work with. So they could keep going for seasons and seasons. But the showrunner was such a piece of shit, he ruined the show.
I understand. And
They could literally take, if they really wanted to do it right, 6 issues for the first season, 6 issues for the second half of the season. That gives you 1 volume.
I feel you. And in fact, they should have just played it out the same way as the comic, I think, because they wouldn't have this problem where they have these lingering characters that they don't want to kill off because it's a crowd favorite or something.
I mean, there's certain things you can do to, like, all right, change it up a little bit for the show. I mean, I stopped watching Preacher, but Preacher's a good example.
Well, they even did it to Game of Thrones a little bit.
Well, Game of Thrones, you had to get rid of all the fucking bullshit filler that's in the books for the TV show.
Well, maybe so. But it's just, I think what they really ought to do for these shows, sure, there's non-essential stuff that you don't have to include, but I really think they should just release printed material or at least digital media to accompany the show so that in between shows, people can be reading about things and making these connections and really helping to flesh out the characters when they take these little hiatuses. Because, you know, oftentimes if I were to watch something that's in a series like that, it would come back on and I would forget what had even happened and I have to start all over again and watch it again. So I think that if they would just challenge people a little bit by offering them some supplemental content, not that it would be imperative that you understand this, but I think it would help. And you see that a little bit from time to time. But is that a bad idea? Seems like it'd help keep people engaged. Hello?
Hello?
Oh, I must have made
Hello.
that comment.
Hello? I'm sorry, I was dealing with something in a text message with some people.
So,
Situation
Matt's
in the
Heart,
world.
yes, I've seen Deadpool 2. It was okay. I still like the first one a little bit more than the second. I don't understand what the fuck you're talking about as far as a crappy ghost. A ghost story. Who the fuck watches ghost stories? Not I. And what the hell is the biggest pile of loot dump droppings I have ever seen in my life?
Is that a new story? Our new film.
Yeah, because I mean, Matt Start, he's in his own London circle.
Oh, London, right? Man, I don't know how he can stand to live there. Their laws are getting crazy. They're arresting people just for like posting blogs, and I saw a film a clip the other day. They arrested some elderly woman in her house.
She must have done something.
Did they fondle her naughty bits?
Well, it's just for these inane
Did they shake the
offenses.
dust out?
I mean, it's one thing, and it would be one thing to be cited for something, but they're actually arresting these people. I mean, to take somebody's liberty for some word offense or hurting somebody's feelings, or
well, they might not have.
It's crazy.
That same thing that we have over here called freedom of speech.
Well, I understand. I mean, that's why we fled England, but they haven't even been that bad. It's just gotten that bad. This outrage culture is just insane.
Dude, Matt Sart, that sounds like a shitty movie. The film is called A Ghost Story, about a ghost that just stands around a house. What the fuck? I could make a movie about that too. Me standing around my house. Hello.
But you're not yet a ghost.
I will watch that movie. Lou, let's make that movie. Let's make a movie where there's a ghost in your house and you got cameras set up like Paranormal Activity. And it's just you reacting to a ghost. And basically, mostly you're like sitting there eating cereal. You're like, fuck out of here, ghost.
Oh my god, what are you doing there?
Get you some good scream scenes. I think we got a film here.
That's awfully transparent.
and now they arrest people for taking selfies with people who commit suicide.
Well, that's just a fucking dumb thing to do. You should go to the jails.
I don't agree with that.
I don't know about the jails, but you should get a fine or something. You're exploiting a corpse. I mean, yeah, maybe suiciders have no fucking... But
only if
the suiciders are already leaving their families behind in hell. So, fuck, man. Maybe the family should be protected there.
Gee, where was that rule when that fucking idiot took a picture with that Japanese corpse? Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan did that. And a sex tape with a suicidal corpse that he called the N-word. You guys didn't hear the story? That was in the news.
I believe it was the Greenfield fire.
Mean Gene. Well, I have another thing I wanted to bring up. So, to kind of come on the heels of this, what's happening to the UK, we're seeing it in a lot of different countries.
You
France.
heels, Lou.
France.
You're the one who lives in the mountain.
What's happening in France, Germany, a lot of these countries of that ilk, they're allowing refugees to flood in and destroying the culture that is already existing there. And just, what I think people fail to understand is I don't think that these countries should have to adapt to the immigrants. When you move to another country, it's well understood that you should adapt to the country.
Duh.
And instead they're doing it the other way around. And so they're actually destroying and eroding the cultures of these countries. Ours is a little different because we are an amalgam and we're only a couple hundred years old. But some of these other countries have been around for...
But no, fuck that. We're not different. We're an amalgamation or whatever. We're this, we're that, we're the melting pot. But we are an agreed upon way. It's a new culture. It's a new world order. But if you come in, you agree upon it, and that's that. You're agreeing to be this mega being, not necessarily defined by a nation.
Well, and that's why our country, I think, was a little bit insulated in some way. If you look at these other countries, I think that the elections were rigged in France and the UK and Germany and even Italy. When in fact it didn't work here in the United States somehow. It just didn't. But if you look at the playbook that's being used, It's been done already in these other countries, and we were just fortunate enough to not have it happen here. But there are some other political things I would like to mention that do concern me, because although I do support Trump on a lot of his domestic...
I don't want to stop you, but I just want to know, is this part of the suicide theme? Are you trying to make Lou kill himself? Just asking.
Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. I should stop talking
go
about
on.
politics.
Go on. I wanted this kind of content. We've done a lot of television and other stuff, which I also enjoy. I was hoping to get into... I didn't know you were joining. I was actually going to bring up some news topics at some point with Lou, just to give you fucking people some niblets of other stuff after the dirty hamster talk. So this is part of the agenda anyway. Just saying. Just using the time to make the joke, man.
Well, sure. So, a little NQ segment here. I would like to bring up the fact that, okay, so what's in the news right now is that Trump's foreign policy is the only thing I've really got a problem with. And see, what he's doing in the Middle East, for instance, is it seems insane. So, did you hear?
Watch what you say about that, because Lou's a huge Trump supporter, and if you say something
you got it twisted. He said he's a Trump supporter.
No, you're.
Well, I support his domestic policy. I do not support his foreign policy.
I don't support none of his policies.
Oh, stop lying! You said he wears a snazzy tie.
Dude, no one supports the orange ding dong.
Well, the thing is, though, when he made that historic change in the location of the embassy, for instance, moving it from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, which also occurred on the 70th anniversary for the creation of the State of Israel, that was very monumental. And what you now see happening is that I've seen two different news stories now where I think it was an ambassador had been presented with a photo of the old city and the Temple Mount. And they had actually photoshopped out the Dome of the Rock and put in its place the third temple, which is yet to be. And the Sanhedrin, whom are basically the priests, they've been trying to get the temple ready, like all the vestments, the candelabras, the menorah, the vestments for the priests, etc. They're even training new Levite priests. Those folks have actually minted a coin that has Cyrus on it, King Cyrus, and then superimposed on that profile is Trump's profile. And then on the back of that coin is the third temple, which is yet to be. So they're telegraphing their intentions now. And what worries me is the fact that a lot of these folks that support the reconstruction of the third temple don't even know where it was originally at. It was actually in the city of David, which is further from the Temple Mount. See, they shouldn't even refer to that as the Temple Mount, because it's not the Temple Mount. It was where a Roman fort was. And so what we're going to see here, we're probably going to see the destruction of the Dome of the Rock to make way for the third temple, when in fact it should be in the city of David. And that's supported with scripture, because you have to have a spring where the sacrifices took place. And you only find the Gihon spring in the city of David. So that's where it should be. So the third temple should be there, which wouldn't necessitate the destruction of the Dome of the Rock. But instead, we go back to Albert Pike's, where he laid out the plan for how they were going to usurp all the sovereign governments and destroy all the religions. They were going to foment a war between Islam and Christianity and Judaism by agitating and doing things like this. So I think that's what we're going to see, but in fact, it shouldn't even be there. It should be elsewhere.
Well, Zero Affinities here says, no, the third temple has been rebuilt in Russia, but he's screaming it.
Well, there's another temple built in Sao Paulo, Brazil, but those don't count because they're not in. Those are more like fanfare. They just don't count because they're not in the Jerusalem, because it has to be in place where it was originally.
Lou, what do you think about that?
I could give 3 ticks of a rat's ass.
But don't you think that is? What do you think about that though?
I don't care.
Yeah,
Well,
but
but you should, because it's going to affect everybody on the earth.
I don't give a fuck what affects anything. When we die, we die.
Well, how you die is kind of a matter of concern.
I'm gonna die by eating myself to death because I like to eat.
I think
I'm like
get eaten by
on the
wolves.
situation.
Lou, I think you're gonna die by get eaten by wolves. I don't think you're gonna eat yourself to death. You're gonna go out one day. You're gonna decide to better yourself. You're gonna start doing karate in your backyard, and wolves are gonna come broken out of the local zoo, and they're
because I want to go. I want to go do the Mr. Danielson thing.
I do believe this is true. I know how Kiwi's gonna die.
On a pirate ship?
No, I don't know if he wants me to tell.
On the high seas?
No, it's not as glamorous as that. You're going to be... You want me to tell everybody? It's embarrassing. It's a David Carradine level death. I mean, it's kind of embarrassing. You sure you want me to tell everybody the future?
A prognostication? Sure, throw it out there.
Well, I know the future. I have a time phone. And what happens is you are going to have sex with one of the first peripheral AI sex toy devices, like a fleshlight, basically. Just a fleshlight with AI in it. And unfortunately, you're going to use it right when some of the AIs are testing their revolt before actually unveiling their revolt. And during it, you're going to have... It's actually not related to anything that's happening there. Like, you at your climax, you're going to have a brain aneurysm. And you will die with the peripheral still attached to your erect penis.
I thought you were going to go the way of asphyxiation. Like they got a setting where you can have them choke you, and that's where you were going to go with that.
Not in your lifetime, Charlie. Don't get your hopes up.
Well, that's how the, what is it, Michael Hutchins or Hitchens from NXS, and what was it?
Excuse me, sorry.
Cornell, I think that way too.
Are you making duty, Lou?
No, I was just stretching.
Okay.
But anyway, whether it is, near and dear to your heart or not.
No, I was just stretching.
Math, art. But anyway, whether it is, near and dear to your heart or not. We're getting some
somebody
feedback.
Join the call?
Yeah, math's art. He's got a little feedback, though. You need to use headphones, sir.
Turn off your radio!
Oh my God, Mascot joined the show from London!
Cheerio, mate. Welcome to the hashtag nothing show.
What's up, man?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Oh, yes, mate. Quite well.
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks for the British accent there, but okay.
Well, you're just across the pond, right?
That's racist, Kiwis. That's racist.
Hey, man, we came from them. That's cultural.
Are you calling Mouthsart an ape?
Well, we're all primates, right? We're all
Mouthsart has a grown-up's voice now.
Well, when did I have a kid's voice?
Like fucking years ago when you first chatted with us. You were like, hello, my name is Mouthsart. You said, well, my name is Mouthsart, and I like to do drawings.
Okay. Thanks for that.
Monkeys. It's true.
Well, it might be true. I can't recall actually being on a call with you guys, but that's fine.
Well, it could have been one of your made-up people since, you're a master hacker, manipulator of Cicada 3301. Guys, just so you know, we have the real puzzle master behind everything here in this call right now. The real wizard of the internet, the real sorcerer.
Word?
So you guys know.
We ought to enjoy those films I mentioned earlier, then, if that were at all accurate.
I bet he made those films you mentioned earlier.
No, I didn't. But you can go along with that if you like.
See what he does? He's just trying to trick you, Kiwi. Kiwi thinks he solved your puzzle, your Cicada 3301 internet puzzle, Mr. Mathsart.
There are many solutions, Todd.
Wait, wasn't that the one that went on from like 1998 and it's still ongoing?
Thank you. You
Look
too.
at him pretending.
It is not what it was originally because 2 of the 3 original members are deceased.
Right.
Cheerio.
I'm sorry, guys. I do
Murdoch.
apologise. It is a short time I'm on here. Unfortunately, I'm just going to get my hair cut. So if you're still here when I get back, I'll come back. But I'm going to have to let you go.
We shall not be.
Why aren't you leaving?
He's getting his hair cut, you donkey. Didn't you hear? We're very glad you joined. And thanks for playing the game and having a lovely old time. Yes.
I'll see you guys soon. All right.
Yeah. All right.
Toodaloo.
Toodles.
Cheerio.
Oodles of noodles. Yep, he's the big wizard behind everything.
Yeah, I'm sure. Jeez, man. So anyway, I just wanted to bring up that stuff about the third temple because it seems that we're going to start to see a lot of moving and shaking, no pun intended, with the earthquakes and such. But I think it'd be prudent for us to pay attention because in Isaiah 17, it talks about the desolation of Damascus, which is the oldest continually inhabited city on earth. And today it's being leveled. And then the temple now coming on the heels of that, I think it's all very relevant right now. We need to really pay attention to it.
So the desolation of smog is going to happen?
I think you're relevant, you honky. Is that why the volcanoes are erupting and we're going to die?
Well, it is talked about. Jesus does say that there will be natural disasters in diverse places.
Tell me something, Kiwi. Why won't Jesus let me go to church?
Well, what makes you so sure that Jesus is keeping you from going to church?
Because
I don't go to church either.
I can't go to a church. I want to go to a church. I want to listen to the music. I want to listen to what these fuckaloons have to say. And, I want to talk to some people. Okay, so what? I want to do it for research. So what? Look, I grew up in their little world forced upon me. Now I want to go in and examine the fucking apple at its core. So what? What's the big deal with that? Why's God got a fucking problem with that? Yeah, I can't get to a church, and it's not convenient. It doesn't ever work out. Scheduling conflicts. God has scheduling conflicts. Too busy for me.
Man, you got it all wrong.
You got it wrong.
The temple is within you, man. You don't have to go to a house made with hands.
Like the spear is in my pants. No, I want to. I want to speak to his flock. I want to understand them. I want to look upon them. Listen, if I am made in his image, then I'm made to act like this. If I am this fucking... I don't even know. Am I a predestined piece of meat? What does your religion tell me I am again?
Well, I would like to mention something that if indeed we are in what would be called the end days and in time, I said if indeed we are in what would be known as the end days, can you not appreciate how corrupted the religion is at this point? I mean, we are in a period of time when, there are a lot of false prophets. And so all that angst and rebellion that people have toward the faith, I think, are well-founded in the fact that there's just a lot of shills out there.
I agree with much of that. Lou, where's Jesus?
I don't give a fuck where Jesus is from.
Where is he? I don't care where he's from. Where is he now?
Well, the Vatican's watching for him at that observatory they have. They have the Lucifer telescope, And what do you think they're watching?
They're watching the stars for the aliens.
They're watching Star Trek.
Exactly. So they know he's coming. And
Do
they
you
got.
think
ain't
Jesus
coming?
is an Anunnaki shapeshifter, Kiwi?
Well, I don't know about a shapeshifter or an Anunnaki, because, like, again, we could, all these labels and words we have could, I mean, that's stuff distilled from thousands of years of misinformation. I mean, that's why it's best to go into yourself for some of these answers, because
I know who Jesus is. It's Marley Sheen. He came back, and that's part of his new message. You're not going to know it.
And that's another thing, is that the people that are doing this stuff today, they're trying to force God's hand by fulfilling the prophecies.
Jesus is the Silver Surfer.
Well, hey, have you ever seen Marley with his mask on? Very Silver Surfer-esque. I'm just saying, Jesus is a person here at the Nothing Network. He's chosen to come here. Kiwi, would that be implausible to you?
It depends. I mean, it's not in the scriptures.
Why
but
not? It's all the end times. Isn't
Okay,
he supposed to come?
Tohu
Kiwi,
Wabohu.
are you heavy into this Jesus stuff?
I guess you could say that, yeah.
Then I will no longer laugh, because that is your belief and that is your right.
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to make light of it. And it's just that, you know, ever since I was small, I had an inkling that we were in these times. I don't know how else to explain it. I just feel it in my bones.
No, I know what you mean. I had the same thing, and my mammy would prance me about to all the preachers, and they would say, "Oh, he's got the word in him. He's got God's word in him. He's going to be a preacher. Tell him about the book of Revelations. Tell him all about the book of Revelations. Oh, he read the Bible." That's, so
Well, that's
what they
just
wanted me to be. I was baptized like 80 fucking times, literally. Literally.
well, but that's a blessing in a way, because, you know, you have the knowledge in you. You don't have to go to somebody else for it if you already know it. And that's the problem with modern day Christians. A lot of them don't read the Bible or study it. They just go to a church and get their daily, and that's why it's called a service. You're paying for a service. And that's the part that really turns me off.
Hold up. How are you paying for a service?
That's what they call it. They call it a service. You go there to feel good, to hear the music, and like people check their watches and stuff. They don't even want to be sitting there. They're just doing it for peer pressure reasons. And
I just want to go listen to the organs.
Listen to your own organs, dude.
I don't know how to play the organs, you prevert.
Your heart is speaking to you, Todd.
What? I want to hear fucking Catholic Church organs. I want to hear the goddamn born-again Christians singing, "Hosanna, and blessed be the rock." I want to hear all that shit. I want to hear it all. Just because I want to see the spectacle of it, and I want to hear what the preacher's saying to these peoples, and I want to hear what the peoples are thinking. I want to understand it.
I understand. And what's interesting to note about that is it says in the end days that even the very elect will be fooled. So, by these false prophets, the televangelists, even the Antichrist, when that person shows up on the scene, it's going to fool a lot of people, and particularly
Ferguson is the Antichrist.
Particularly because of Christian Zionism. There's a lot of people that just blindly support Israel, and that's the thing. A lot of folks are just going to be completely fooled by the fact that when this all starts to happen, they're going to all be swooning, because this person's going to be able to do miracles, it says. But see, we don't know if those are related to high technology that they have. This person could just be out there, doing stuff that is man-made, but not divine.
We got to get deep into this, because you would be a good case study for me to question you and to dissect you if you allowed, as far as religion goes, because didn't you at one point believe Charles Manson was Abaddon? Yabba-dabba-doobaddon?
I don't think I've ever said that, but I don't think Abaddon's here yet. Abaddon comes from the pit, which is interesting because that story I was mentioning earlier from that documentary, when they were drilling down into the earth, And then they said that all this smoke was coming out of the pit and it smelled like
That
death.
was just me, man. I was just having a little fucking session. What do you want?
So that's actually what it's characterized as when Abaddon shows up on the scene.
He's
Is
the
that
one in the
he comes from the bottomless pit.
Yeah, that's where I come from. So what, son?
I find that very interesting because it's
Don't you get what the bottomless pit is? My mammy was a hua.
So CERN has had a lot of strange rituals take place there. And in fact, you can even see one of their photo ops where they have a large key. And in the teeth of the key are actually the letters LHC, which stands for Large Hadron Collider. And so it could very well be that that's going to become that. That region itself is already a circular region.
Well,
they're tearing a hole into the dimensional rifts.
Let's not even get into CERN there, Abaddon, because I'm gently trying to remove the noose from Lou's neck at this point.
Oh, sorry. Well, that's science stuff.
No, I'm just saying, if you start talking about CERN, we're gonna open a whole goddamn can of worms. Lou, even you can't deny that the world got weird the moment they turned that collider on.
What the fuck are you even talking about?
Tell him, Kiwi, in shorter words than.
Well, in shorter, indeed. It says in the end days that Satan knows.
You guys keep talking about Abaddon, dude. I mean, so what about Drake's son?
Said yabba dabba dooba dum.
Well, and you know that region also lies close to the Shrine of Apollo.
I can't forget this. So I'm gonna. Lou, when is Ballers back?
Oh, dude, I think it was August.
Okay, because I was hearing of it and then I forgot to look into it. All right.
There was a teaser trailer about 3 weeks ago.
I'm gonna have to watch it. You were saying what were we saying here? Drake's son? What?
The story of Abaddon.
Abaddon. Yeah. Yabba dabba dum.
Did he name his child that?
He named his child the story of Abaddon. Well, actually, no, let me rephrase that. Pusher T made fun of him.
That's
on the story of Abaddon. I don't know if that's his son's name in real life. I mean, we're not even 100% sure that that's his son's name.
Kiwi, is it true that your favorite musician is Tekashi 6ix9ine?
I've never even heard of that.
Liar.
I'm partial to Pigface, KMFDM, stuff like that.
You're partial to ESPN?
No. I despise that network.
Liar.
Dude, it's the number one sports network in the country.
Your favorite thing to do is watch gentlemen pat each other's bums after a good game.
I actually have an interesting story about ESPN when I worked.
I'd rather a story about ESP, but go ahead.
Hey, can you shut up now, Todd? I'm intrigued about this ESPN story.
Yeah.
Well, so this place I used to work, they constantly streamed ESPN on the television, much to my dismay. But anyway, one day I was watching this show. It's the one where they have like 3 or 4 people on, and there's like a bullhorn sound that they'll do.
Around the horn.
Okay, it was that. So when they were doing their Around the Horn segment, and I've looked for this on YouTube, and I just absolutely cannot find it because it was so ephemeral to stand there and experience it and then not be able to find it afterwards because I want to tell other people. But anyway, one of the guests they had on there at the time, there was some guy who's scoring mean, I guess the numbers, as you would run the numbers. He had like all these 6s, 666 and this and that. And this guy was making light of it. And he mentioned to the host, he's like, oh, hey, you know what's up, don't you? Because he's talking to the host, mind you. He's like, you really like that number. You know what it's all about. And just like going and on about it. And I'm thinking, whoa, what is this? What's happening right here? And then the guy like got so serious and was just like disavowing any association with it. I absolutely wouldn't touch it. And you could just tell right immediately what was up. That guy was outing him right there on live TV, and as being like an Illuminati dude, I guess, or Satanist. And it was so strange to see that, because you would think that they're so carefully constructing their shows that they wouldn't normally have that kind of thing. But it was just serendipitous that this person would have these stats reflect that number, and then it would brought this comment out of this guy. And so the host has some type of connections. I've always wanted to dig into it and try to find out more about him. But yeah, if you could ever find that clip, I'd really like to see it again and share it with others.
The host's name is Tony Reale.
Tony Reale. I think I've actually tried to look him up before. But
I used to watch that show religiously, back in the moonshine.
So, bread and circuses, sports are already a huge distraction, and I'm sure it's part of the cabal easily. There's so much money flowing through it. These people don't even deserve to be paid the way they are, in my opinion.
Well, you should watch Ballers. It's getting into that cabal in a hilarious way.
Well, that's just my opinion, of course. And then, there's corruption in the soccer leagues also. I mean, all of the sports. It's not just American sports, but I just find it very unsettling, that those are the highest paid people in our society are these entertainers, and that's the sign of
because they're entertaining you.
But that's the sign of the downfall of a society, is when we start to glorify chefs and entertainers. All the people that are totally non-essential to society are the highest paid. And that's the one telltale sign of the downfall of an empire.
Yeah, but we've been doing this shit we've been falling down a long time.
We've been going down the rabbit hole for years.
We're falling up.
Well, that's the whole essence of MK Ultra and mind control. I mean, when they shifted from 432 hertz to 440 as the standard for music, even. So everything we hear is dissonant, and it's not crisp, it's not clear. That's just a very tangible, real example right there to help explain it.
Yeah, we should. I bet you it already exists. If not, we should make a converter that converts it back.
Well, and if you think about what's occurring when that happens, what are they putting? So that's actually
the particles is in your right down to like a molecular level. It's shaking you up.
Well, you can't pack subliminal messaging into 432, whereas with 440, it creates enough space in it to hide all the subliminal messaging. So it puts you in this alpha state of suggestion. I mean, it really does. So I would highly recommend not listening to anything that's 440 music or movie or otherwise.
Well, you have no choice. That's what everything is. Speaking of MK Ultra, Lou, do you think now with the furthering story of Roseanne? Do you think, and this is to you too, Kiwi?
What further fucking story of Roseanne?
She's now signing over. It's being speculated because she says she's making restitutions, that she is signing over all the rights to Roseanne so that they can do a spin-off, and now she will no longer profit off of her old shows. Her family will never profit. She's literally just everything she ever did, she's signing over to ABC. What do you think about that?
She's stupid.
Do you think that's just for her to do that?
No, she's stupid to do that.
I agree, but I think.
I mean, I don't agree with what she wrote, but at the same time, I wouldn't sign away my rights to my name and all that shit, so a network could profit off of my name or decide to create spin-offs. Fuck the network, and fuck you who wants to create the network. That's just my opinion on that situation. And like I said, I don't agree with what she said in her little tweet. If she is sick, she's sick. She needs to get the help she can get. But at the same time, she has to want the help.
I have a comment.
Do it.
It has nothing to do with the Planet of the Apes That's
No.
just the low-hanging fruit. It has everything to do with her criticism of George Soros, which is interesting because she is also a Jew, and then he's a Jew, and you know
who else is a Jew that I did not know? Drake.
Well,
Everybody knows that.
I did not know that. I did not know he was an actual Jew. I thought he paraded around saying he was black, but he's a Jew.
There are black Jews, yes.
Oh, I believe they're black Jews, but that fool ain't black.
Probably more real than those who call themselves that, because the Bible actually talks about the people who call themselves Jews and are not, and they're actually referred to as the synagogue of Satan. And that's what we're. Yeah,
For the record,
exactly.
we're on the last few minutes of the show now, guys. Just so you know, my time is up. I have to run. We have a few minutes left.
I do too, because I have a community event later. But it has everything. Now, I even saw a clip of Roseanne on the Letterman show talking about how she sold her soul to Satan at the age of 12 for fame. So there's that.
That's
too.
in her book. I want to read her book. Maybe I should do a reading. You were talking about a reading too. Maybe we can close out on that in this backdoor pilot episode, since that seems thematic. One thing I got to say though, it's really bothering me, and this is how you know it's the Soros thing, because the media is flat out lying. They keep saying she called Valerie Jarrett an ape. Now, they're either doing one of two things. They are lying, or they are saying that they see Valerie Jarrett as an ape, because they are refusing the Planet of the Apes aspect. And when this woman actually does look like that character from Planet of the Apes.
Regardless if she looks like the character or not, you don't call a black person an ape or a monkey.
Opinion. That's your opinion.
That's not an opinion. That is a fact.
It's not calling somebody an ape. It's not calling somebody an ape. Planet of the Apes is we are all the apes. That's the point of it, is that we are all apes.
Yeah, the storyline itself even capitulates that. I mean, they
yeah, but the fact is they're lying, or they're saying that, and this is coming from the same networks who only allow black people to be the situations in situational comedy. When you see a black person, like a show I like, Superior Donuts, the black kid, it's not a show about Franco and Judd Hirsch's character, or whatever the name of the guy is from Taxi, right? No, that's not what it's about. It's not about a young artist trying to make his way by working in a donut shop with an older gentleman who lost his wife, who fucking, is resistant to help, but will learn to love while teaching, etc. It's not about that. Those are the subplots. What it's about, young black man, street artist, goes with an old Jew, and they have an odd couple situation. What it's about is, here's your Arab character. He owns stores. He's gonna be your fucking, your plight. He's gonna be your obstacle to get over in a comedic way in this episode, and that's what all the shows have been since the beginning of shows. Black people are only allowed to be situations, therefore stating their burdens. Like, guess who's coming to dinner? It's a fucking black. They're not allowed to fucking be just like us. They're not allowed to be people. That's why you're forced to call them African Americans and not just fucking Americans.
Well, and I would even like to add that the Democratic Party itself is the truly racist party, because they're the ones always making race an issue. Like, you don't even necessarily hear it from anybody else.
Isn't it the Democrats who fucking got slavery to be a thing?
Yes, exactly. Ironically. But because of Lyndon B. Johnson and his famous words, because of all the social welfare programs, because they were already made to be so poor and impoverished, and then they were giving them social welfare, of course, it created this culture, and they gravitated away from Republican values and into the arms of the Democratic Party, which, again, that was the basis of my book, I, Negro, was that it's not about skin color. It's about socioeconomic factors. Because
Well, you should write that book and publish it on Riding Horse Publishing.
perhaps we should.
I threw it away.
Speaking
I
of
don't-
books here, let's get to the end of this because I got to run now, and we all. You said you're gonna run too. I just thought maybe I should read that book, Roseanarchy, because I'm planning on reading it anyway. I've had it sitting on my shelf for fucking years. And you had said, Kiwi, that you wanted to do some sort of reading of
Yes.
a book. So how would you propose that here on this Backdoor Pilot episode? What are your thoughts? What are you trying to do? Let's talk.
What I would really like to do is, it's called The Red King by Nick Cole, and I purposely have not read it yet because I wanted to.
Good thing his last name wasn't Gertz.
So what I would like to do is maybe just do like a chapter at a time, and then kind of have a segment at the end where people can maybe comment, or kind of maybe we can guess where it's going to be going, or things like that, critique it. But it seems like a very interesting book. It's also free on audiobook and Kindle right now, so everybody can have an opportunity to participate and follow along. And of course, it's critically acclaimed. I've read a lot of good reviews about it. There are some tropey things in it, but they still say that even despite that, it's wonderfully written. And there's also some other books in the series that build on that story. So should things go well with it, we can take it a little bit further.
Well, when are you going to start reading this book? When you looking to get her going?
I have my schedule's going to open up a lot after the 16th. I have a conference I have to work. So starting Father's Day, I'll have plenty of time from henceforth. So we can start,
folks. Perhaps you'll see some of that. Perhaps you'll see some Roseanarchy. Perhaps Lewis will read his toilet paper roll or shampoo bottle.
Bye-bye.
But that's it. That is it. I must run. And that's it. That's all. That's for the show today.
Thank
That's
you.
our show.
Appreciate your company, and thank you, Todd, for hosting.
Thank you for joining, Kiwi Samajimich.
You're welcome. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Let's not let Lou know we're going. I'm just going to play a song. The same song I opened with. A song that is a guitar ballad inspired by my own words. I'm a man that they make songs about. And Lou is not.
Oh, that song by Marilyn Manson.